cool kids, for today's video we have a sketchbook tour featuring the sketchbook, which I actually put out a poll to see which book you guys wanted to see, and it was pretty much unanimously voted for this one. I think I called it the Sketchbook of Shame or something in the last video, and it's a very special sketchbook to me. As you can see, the cover is decorated with my name and "Keep Out, Do Not Enter except for Melody," and I'll get into more of why I wrote that all over this later on in the video. This was originally a scrapbooking set I think my parents got for me in like 4th grade. And I know I said in the last sketchbook tour that there were 3 sketchbooks in here, and that's kind of true, kind of not. There are technically 3 sketchbooks in here, but they're all very small, and only the last one's filled, which we'll do that one last. So starting out, we had this little sketchbook, which I believe I got for Easter. It looks like a dollar store type sketchbook. Like, I'm pretty sure it came with a pin. And I wrote, "This pin is dangerous," and I don't know why. And then, if I remember correctly, I lost this sketchbook for a while, and then refound it in 2012 and made just beautiful art. I think I was trying to draw a nose here. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And that's all we have for that sketchbook. The next we have this one, which I believe I had in 8th or 9th grade, I want to say. I got it from my grandma, I remember, because she was super into Winnie the Pooh. And on the back, I spelt my name out with electrical tape, just because I thought it was cool. So this first picture is Carly. My family was super into American Idol. Like, we'd literally all just gather around the TV and watch it. We had little scorecards where we'd keep track of who we liked and who we didn't, so we knew who to vote for. So the year I drew this, Carly was one of the performers, and she was mine and my sister's favorite. And then, I don't know what happened to this picture. I'm not sure if I'm the one who scribbled it out or if one of my siblings did. But if I can read the top, it says that it's Sissy, so that means it was a picture of my sister, and clearly either she or I just really did not like it. Then I wrote my name on the side in cool font, because I was trying to work on my writing. This, I bought a little plush wolf from the dollar store, and I really wanted to learn how to draw wolves. I was trying to do, like, a straight life study of it. This was an outfit design. And then, this is another picture, which again, I don't know why it's scribbled out, but someone didn't like it. It was probably me. I was trying to do some pajama designs here that I thought would be cool, and then I drew some guy ogling at them to show that they were super cool and trendy. This was a bag I think I wanted to give one of my characters. And then here, I was trying to practice facial diversity with like how different eye sizes would affect how the character looks. Then this was just a girl. And then I wanted a very geometric design for this page, and I made a heart out of electrical tape, which was actually originally on the back of the sketchbook, but I decided to replace it with the electrical tape name instead. And then here I got one of those little kids, like, arts and crafts sets, so I wanted to play with all the materials inside there. So I have marker, I have my beautiful first attempts at pastels, which are just gorgeous. I have colored pencil, crayon, and is that everything for this sketchbook? Yep, looks like it is, so. And now on to the most important sketchbook of the video, and this was originally from the scrapbook set, that's why it says my scrapbook on it. But I decided to use it as a sketchbook instead because I didn't really have a lot of friends or take a lot of pictures, so I didn't have a lot of pictures to put into a scrapbook. And the reason why I wrote my name and "Keep Out" all over the cover of the binder that these sketchbooks are in is because this sketchbook was floating around my room for a long time just because I would work on it on and off, and at one point my sister was in my room, we were just like talking or something, and she just opened up the sketchbook in the middle of our conversation and was just flipping through it and making like the most disgusted face, which, like, looking back on it, I understand why, but at the time I was just like, how dare you judge my art? I was so offended, so I decided I would never show her any of my art again. And then I stored this in that binder with "Keep Out" written all over it because, you know, nothing keeps a sibling out like writing "Keep Out" on your stuff. This flap I think was supposed to be removed so you could put a picture in here for the whole sketchbook thing, but again, I didn't really use this for its intended purpose, so instead I wrote down my school and my grade and all that in case, like, I lost the sketchbook somewhere. So if I remember correctly, I did the bulk of the work for this sketchbook in between 4th and 5th grade. And then I also went back in 6th and 7th grade to re-add to some of the sketches, and we'll go over that when we get there. So the scrapbooking set this came with these cool glitter pins, and so I just drew the first page a bunch of things I liked. So there was like a little witch, there was a Loch Ness Monster, because he was my favorite cryptid, and then my friend showed me this cool trick where if you draw like a spiral around an object, it makes it look magical, and I'm super obsessed with that. And then here we have more things. I remember this came from this story my friend told me, which is like the dog story, where it's like, there's a guy and he's walking around and he has no arms, and then he's sad, and then a boulder falls on him, and then he dies, and then it's just a whole story, and the culmination is supposed to come together to create a dog. So that's what that was, and then I was learning how to draw that cool S everyone draws in elementary school. Here, I was trying to draw a couple kissing, and it kind of cracks me up, because I was like, I need to make sure people know this is a straight couple, so I'll give the person on the right long hair, so people know, for my, beautiful, high-quality kissing art. And I think this was a chain jump. And then more girls, because what else is in any of my sketchbooks? Then this picture, I think, was a mistake, and I remember it really creeped me out when I first drew it. And then this, I don't know why I felt the need to write this as a note. I remember my pen was running out, so I wrote, help, pin out, ask later, need new, Mel. And I remember to write this, the sketchbook came with like a little ink pad so you could do stamps, and so I dipped my pen into the ink pad to write that out, because I was a very ingenuitive child, but I don't know why I didn't just talk to my sister, because I know that's who I passed the note to. And then this I drew in 4th grade, which was a dress design, and this one was probably 6th or 7th grade, which was a more fancy dress design. And now we get into the real high quality work of the sketchbook, which is the manga I wanted to write. It was basically just a stereotypical magical girl manga. This was the main villain, and I don't know how to pronounce her name. I think it was supposed to be like Cathanra or something, but she just went by Catty. And then this was the main character, and I was trying to draw all their magical girl like evolution things. So yeah, it starts off here, this is who she is normally, and then we go, her necklace opens. For some reason I didn't understand that for like a circle necklace like this to open, it would have to have a circular base in the back, and so I figured they'd just fold open, I don't know. And she was Earth, and so then it'd go boom, 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 wow, her magical girl transformation, and I was actually really proud of this drawing. And then I figured they also needed super transformation, so I went, and that was her super magical girl transformation. Then we have Ella, and you can tell she's an evil character, because I wrote evil at the top. If I remember correctly, in this story, all the bad guys were, like, super, like, goody-goody type characters, because I wanted to write, like, a twist on the regular magical girl anime. I was so bored of, like, how every magical girl anime, the main characters were always, like, good and nice people, and then the bad guys are always, like, mean, and they wore a lot of black. I was like, no, let's flip that. The good guys will wear black, and the mean people will wear pink, because that's what I wanted to write. And then there was Princess Starlet, who I know she is princess of either the good guys or the bad guys, but I can't remember. I think because she had cute dogs with her, she was the princess of the good guys. Because, like, you can't be evil and have cute dogs. The bad guy's main evil plot was to hypnotize people, so before hypnotism they'd be all cool and exciting, and after hypnotism they'd be all boring and goody-goody. And then this was Tamiata? I don't know how to pronounce any of the names in here. I think I was just writing down letters I thought were cool. And so she went through the same magical girl thing where her necklace opens, and wow, she's in a wave pool, and then a wave washes over her, and she has her superpower. Then her super magical transformation where she goes boom. And if you'll notice here, I erased the original body because you can see she was supposed to be standing on a wave, and I also erased her boobs, and that's partially because of when my sister went through this, and I was all like, oh, I'm so embarrassed that she doesn't like it, because in the original pictures, they all had super big, ridiculous anime boobs, because that's what happened in all the animes I watched at the time, but I was like, no, in like 6th or 5th, 7th grade, I was like, no, I have to censor this, and I have to make it acceptable for children to watch. And that was that. And then this was Carla, who was fire, and so it went boom, and then boom, and this one is one of the few ones where I drew a very clear path between their transformations. Some of them I can't really tell which way their transformations are gonna go and which one's like the final form. But anyways, this was Leon, and she was the plant magical girl. I think these were all based off of like elements, vaguely. And so, again, she goes like this. I remember I thought she'd be, like, a cool, like, 70s type inspired character. And then like this, because apparently their super magical transformations were just like really boring underwear. I'm not sure what her name was supposed to be. It looks like it says Metha, but I don't think it was Metha. And she's the minor one, because she was supposed to be the main character's little sister, you know, kind of like Chibiosa and all that. And so I think her transformation oh, I don't know where it starts. But this is my favorite picture of this thing. It's just her covered in hair. That's going to be part of her transformation cycle. Next to this one, which is also just really gorgeous. There's some pretty high quality artwork in here. This one is Ella, and I remember this one always made me uncomfortable because she reminds me of my sister in the first drawing, or at least how I drew my sister at the time. But she was light. And then we have Tanya, who was sound. And then I remember the main good guys, they were actually from this alien race called the Elna, because I was stealing a lot from, I think, Mew Power at the time. And so the Elna, their special thing was that they'd actually, like, float up without their magical necklaces, which were these. And so if they got hypnotized, they could stay on Earth. I don't know. I had a whole complicated, like, backstory behind this race of people, but I never wrote it down, so I can't actually remember a lot of it. And then this is Dark Queen Name, which, knowing my creative process back in the day, she might have actually been the good guy's queen or the bad guy's queen. Again, I really don't know where I was going with this story, and then I wrote down a phone number. I think I was trying to make, like, a tutorial for myself on how to draw eyes. The only way I could draw eyes, though, was if they were staring off to the side. And then we have the evil soldier and her power sucker, and this is her in her human form, and she's all sad and everything, and then in her power form, she used to have, like, big anime boobs, but again, I was like, no, we must destroy the anime titties. And then there's Manya, who was Rock, and I remember I really wanted the skirt, and it's actually a pretty cool skirt. Like, I remember what I was going for with it. And this is another one where I have no idea how her magical transformation's supposed to go. There was Anna, is that the main character's name? I don't remember, that's too far back, but there was her enemy, and I thought it was cool to give my characters, like, ridiculously long names, so her full name was Tebetinieteresitamalia, aka Tiba. And then, oh yeah, I wrote Dimtrod, and originally she was supposed to be their mermaid mate, but then I was like, no, this has to be a cool, edgy story. She's gonna be their enemy. And then this was around the time Charlie the Unicorn was super cool, so here's my beautiful Charlie the Unicorn fan art. And then I was starting to work on the universe. So there was the dark dragon and the light dragon, then I was designing all the monsters that would live in the black holes. Again, I'm not entirely sure what the story was, but we have the baby black hole god, we have the Satria, the Tabone, the whole god, I remember this was supposed to be rescue, and I don't remember if I intentionally spelled it wrong, or if I just had no idea how to spell rescue. So there was Form 1 and Form 2, there was a terror ghost, and you can tell he's a terror ghost because he has angry eyebrows, and then the black hole god depression spirit. I enjoyed designing monsters a lot more than I enjoyed designing characters, but I couldn't make an entire series that was just cool monsters. There was the Taberg, the adult black hole god. I remember my friend, the same friend who showed me how to do the whole spiral thing to make things look magical, she also showed me how to draw tentacles overlapping each other, and it was another thing I thought was really cool and really loved to draw. There was the lone girl and the lone boy, and then a bat bow, and then I think this is just a mome. I don't remember. I feel like I erased something and then drew this here later. And then this is just a question mark because I was running out of names. This was called a tap. And then this was from a completely different story about an angel who falls to Earth, and she's learning to be a guardian angel, which was again based off of a lot of the mangas I was reading at a time. And then we get into the 6th or 7th grade redrawings, where I tried to recreate all the characters when we actually make them look good. So I wrote down redone pages so that way I knew I wasn't in 4th grade anymore. I was a big kid now, and I knew how to do art. So this is Leanne. This is Cassandra again. Here we have Anna and Ella. I was trying to move Ella away from a design that made her look like my sister. Here we have Camila, and if I remember correctly actually, her initial design I stole from another drawing I did in a completely different sketchbook. And then we have Carla on the beach. You can tell because she's holding a cool beach umbrella. Meha, okay, so it's Meha, not Metha. And then Tanya. This was one of the characters, I don't remember. If I didn't write their names, then I have no idea who they are, because I drew this very long ago and gave all my characters very ridiculous names. And then we have Leon in her normal power-up form, and I remember I had plans to redraw all of their power-up forms, like frame by frame on a different page, so that way then I could put it all together into one more cohesive piece instead of just like this garbled mess. But then I didn't carry through with that, and I'm actually super grumpy about this. I went through, I think in 7th grade is when I went through and I started erasing things like all the boobs, and then some of the pictures I didn't like, I just erased them. And never do that with your art. Like, this picture wasn't great, but it wasn't ever gonna be great, and erasing it wouldn't help it be any better, and so now I can't look back on it. And I don't know, I'm just salty about that, but whatever. Then I drew Caddy again, because she was my favorite character to draw, and she's the only character that's really survived from this whole series. Like, I still draw her occasionally. And again, more erased pages. Because I was like, no, if my art's not perfect, it can't be in the sketchbook, because then my sister will look at it and she'll make that face again. So whatever. Apparently I like this one enough to keep it, though, but not this one. And then I switched up my art styles. I was trying to do a more chibi-ish style, and I remember at the time I only knew how to shade boobs and eyes, and so all the boobs and eyes are super shaded and everything else is just like sketchy. So there was Caddy again, because again, she was my favorite character to draw. She was the only character I actually enjoyed from this series. And there was Ella's normal transformation, Tamula, Anna, only she was hypnotized, and apparently when you get hypnotized you don't have a nose anymore. And then, I want to say this is over, but it never ends. We have more art. This was Light and Elle. I was trying to draw a cute picture of Light trying to hold Elle's hand, but Elle's too distracted by the pretty sunset, so he doesn't notice. Figured I was going to make it a super, like, fancy piece and then post it on DeviantArt. Actually, I don't think I even had a DeviantArt at this time, so I don't know where I plan to post it. And then this was the initial thumbnail sketch, which I did on this side, and I was like, okay, let's draw an official version on this side, but then I didn't like this one as much. I like the tiny bunny, though. Tiny bunny's cool. And is that the end yet? Maybe. Nope, it never ends. There's Caddy again. And then, I don't know. And then I decided to finish it off with a self-portrait of myself. Just that way you knew, this sketchbook belongs to Melody, and this is what I looked like, according to me. So that was that work of art. Again, I always feel bad judging my own art, like, too harshly, because I know at the time I was really trying to learn, and I'm actually pretty proud of younger me for having the willingness to draw so many pictures, because I drew most of this in one summer. And I was working very hard on making, like, all of the poses unique, all of their transformations original, so, like, kudos to younger me for that. You put a lot of hard work into this, and I can't dock you for that. Less kudos to older me for erasing all the pictures. But that's it for the sketchbook tour, though, so thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye!